I know that just sitting around and talking isn't the most inspirational thing. Sometimes you want to see someone do something great before you're even remotely interested in what they have to say. Hopefully, I've done something great in your opinion, because what I'm about to say is important. I just watched a video from Big Think, produced by Big Think, that was very interesting, where the guy talked about mercenary warfare and how, until about 400 years ago, the world was predominantly run by mercenaries, just chaos. And mercenaries are not like standing militaries that just get paid for sitting around. Mercenaries get paid when they kill. So they go out of their way to make sure that they fuck everything up so that their work is always in demand. And they will unstabilize and ruin, they'll burn cities to the ground, murder children, just chaos, starve people to death, poison water supplies, you name it. And if we're not careful in this wonderful golden age of the last 400 years that humanity has experienced for the most part, people like Blackwater. Russia has a form of Blackwater too. There's another mercenary group that Russia uses. I don't even like talking about countries as if they're people. Like Russia, Russia Jones? No, no. The Russian country. Russia Jones doesn't hire mercenaries. We have to be careful and communicative so that we maintain our control of the situation, because it's easy for money to talk, so to speak. So what I could see is Google, Skynet, Terminator 2, AI, standing art, like, Skynet was probably a human AI army in the beginning. And it was like just Boston Dynamics, just seeing what would happen if you had weaponized machines that fought alongside humans. Well, for a while, maybe that would be fine. Then what if someone pays them more money? What if they don't have an allegiance? Like these people from people in like West Africa that'll be like, I'm from Sudan. I saw a comment on the Big Think video, and it's fucking. They're like, let me tell you, it's absolutely horrible. It's been like this for. And you just go to the Big Think video. Put a link to it, and look at the comments of some of the people that live in places where mercenaries take control. It's distressing. Syria, fortunately not that much. Libya, there's like just mercenary warfare. It's disgusting. It's dangerous. It's pathetic, and we need to take control. We need to make sure that as Russia, China, and United States and other countries, we formulate to empower the people and our structures so that there is order. I value chaos, but I also value order. Financial order, we want to make sure people are fed and that they know that it's our government that is making sure they're fed, so that there's faith in the government, whatever that government is. If we turn it into a technocracy run by decentralized organizations where we can kind of make our own laws locally and contribute to like pollution laws globally. The laws, you can definitely have social programs where everyone kind of combines forces to make sure that we're safe, but let people govern themselves locally. But we have to make sure there's consensus amongst these localizations. So whether that means like 80% of us have to agree on the bigger deal, you go from anywhere from like, if it's not that big of a deal, maybe it takes 90 of us to come together to make a change. If it's a huge deal, like there's a fire raging in a country or in California, and what are we going to do? Maybe you need 70% consensus to make a change. Or these numbers are fungible. You can trade them and change them. But these 70 to 90% is like a good consensus, because if 51% is too little, you leave out half the people of the world when you make the decision, and that's terrifying because that's team warfare. And if we give the consensus to the locality for control, then people will feel like they're in control, and they won't feel like they need to hire police outside of the system because they're involved in the system. The other thing I was thinking was the mind meld. It's a little, science fiction at the moment, but there's a new paper released last October in this scientific journal that showed that your hippocampus sends out a less than 1 hertz frequency that makes other areas of your brain turn on. Well, they were doing this in mice, and it was happening without chemical interaction. So it's like psychic power. The vibration of something in your hippocampus is causing other brains or pieces of brains to vibrate and activate. So yeah, that's why you think of your friend right when they're calling you, et cetera, down the line. That's a big part of it, I think, is this hippocampal vibration. Campbell. So in that sense, we're mind melding just by being together, being in the presence of that vibration. Everyone has a duty to make a video. Allow yourself to be vibrated on the spot so that we can become you. Don't take that literally, by the way. This is the role of entertainers and culture, is that they put themselves out there in front of people so that they allow themselves to be changed and change others, and kind of keep us all connected in that sense, that we're all vibrating on some sort of similar frequency at different, so that we can all kind of have a sense of reference. Like, yeah, Jim Carrey, like we all talk about like Jim Carrey, like we know who Jim Carrey is. It's stressful for Jim, but he's allowing his body to be used as like a focal point so that we can all have kind of a common belief, consent, whatever, consensus, that word again, consensus. I like that word. That's cool. The role of an artist is very important in that sense, emotionally, community bonding. But not just any artist. Like, you could argue that a computer developer is an artist, but I'm talking about performance artists that stand in front of people and crowds of people, or just vibrate in front of other humans. That's a cool role. But I don't think it's an end goal. Like, if you're a performer, you should be doing other things too that benefit society, and then perform as well. But like build systems, like code or design architecture for computer software or buildings or technologies and things, in addition to standing in front of a crowd and talking and vibrating and making them laugh and this and that. Okay, that's a good step. The vibration. Um, that'll help keep us connected. And what else? Standing militaries, national standing militaries. I don't have anything against them, but I would like a global military. But who commands the global military? Right now, we have a bunch of international, like decentralized militaries run by decentralized commanders. The president of Russia, the president of the United States, et cetera, et cetera. And it's okay. There's an element of fear when like one guy controls an army of 600,000 machine gunners. Well, he doesn't really control them, but they're the commander. They command an army of 6,000 plus 600,000. Who knows how many standing military, national military members there are. So that's a little disconcerting when you know that like another guy commands 600,000 machine gunners, and you don't have any say in it. So this whole decentralizing the army to like the population might be good. And if there is chaos and like worst case scenario, a bomber jet from another country that hasn't decentralized yet or been decentralized flies over a city in your country and bombs it. And normally there would be a president that would make a snap decision on the phone, and within 2 minutes, pointing troops, giving the generals their orders, chain of command that's already been in place, ready to roll, contingencies is already done. So as a decentralized unity, we can already have the contingency in place. That's what we can do. We can build military contingencies and then vote on them in times of chaos with like 70% or 68% consensus necessary. We'll have like contingency A, contingency B, like if bombs drop on then, and it could be on the blockchain, so we don't even have to vote on it. Like we've already cast our vote for what we want to go in the face of any instance. So we'll code what we want our response to be ahead of time. And then with consensual, it'll be like some people can build the contingency plans, and everyone will have the ability to build their own contingency, and then we'll all vote on all the different contingencies, and we'll have our votes pre-selected. So in times of, if an asteroid, if explosion at your local power plant, then I want the fire department to go from this fire department and get there this, whatever, prioritize above X, and it can be pretty fun. And you can like have a plan for everything. You can start to plan like worst case scenarios and have it all kind of out of our hands so that it's automated.